Would you like to start us off?
Thank you. I have related on many occasions the history of the Elgin marbles, a story of bribes to Ottoman officials, misuse of public office for personal benefit, Lady Elgin's adultery and divorce, Elgin's financial ruin, and the fire sale of his private collection to the British government. I've told about Greek freedom fighters offering bullets to their Turkish enemies if they would stop stripping lead from the Parthenon, and about the shocking mistreatment of the marbles in Bloomsbury in the 1930s, not to mention the half-promises made to the Greeks when they stood by us in World War II. But not today. The question is, who owns culture? The law of property is pervasive in restitution claims. For years, the British Museum has said that the Elgin marbles were lawfully acquired, whilst those who argue for their return to Greece assert that Lord Elgin had no right to take them, therefore he could sell no title to them. As a lawyer, I once defended a man who used a sledgehammer to smash up his friend's car. At the trial, he showed that he had advanced the money to his friend to buy the car, and the friend had not repaid him. Therefore, my client claimed ownership of the car, and there was no crime. If you own something, you may do with it as you will, even destroy it. It was no crime when Lady Churchill burnt the Sutherland portrait presented to Sir Winston by Parliament. It was not even a crime when the Afghan government blew up the Buddhas of Bamiyan in 2001. It would be no crime for a Russian oligarch to buy one of the world's 34 surviving Vermeers and, on a whim, destroy it. With respect, I believe who owns culture is the wrong question. Many artifacts transcend ownership. The issue is really not who owns them, but who is to take care of them. Some of our views about what may or may not be owned have changed over the years. A pig can be property, but a person cannot. You may destroy your pig and turn him into pork chops. You may not destroy your child. But our courts are equally willing to give judgment in a dispute about a pig and a dispute about a child. The procedure and the tests the court applies in the two cases will be completely different. In the case of the pig, was there a contract? Who owns the pig? In the case of the child, what is in the best interests of the child? The child will be represented separately from the parents at the proceedings. Some works of art and some cultural artifacts are so singular, so important, that I believe a new objective approach to dispute resolution is required, analogous to that used in family law. The destruction of the Bamiyan Buddhas should have been recognised as a crime, irrespective of ownership. I think applying the best interest test would have seen their removal to India, which had offered to take and preserve them for mankind. When art has been divided, as with a divided family, the answer to the best interest test will, I believe, usually be reunification. There are many instances where this has happened. Manet's painting, The Execution of Maximilian, was considered too political to be exhibited in France in his lifetime, and on his death his family cut it up and sold the pieces separately. This vandalism so outraged Degas that he cited it as a good reason not to have a family. He tracked down as many fragments as he could, and on his death our National Gallery acquired them. During Neil MacGregor's time as director of the gallery, they were assembled on a new canvas and put on display there. Though the painting is incomplete, it is undeniably greater than the sum of the parts. The surviving sculptures of the Athenian Parthenon are divided. The frieze, the metopes, and even individual statues have been split up, a body here, a head there. The vast majority are either in London or in Athens. Arguably, the best interest test might have produced different results at different times in the history of the Elgin marbles. Today, I believe that the only sensible conclusion would be that they should be brought together again in the new Acropolis Museum in Athens, for unity, for integrity, for context, and for comity. I don't insist that they belong to Greece, I say they belong in Greece.